checking to see if everything is coming in and waiting on people to come into the room. Hello everybody, how is it going? Lady Leeanna back with you for a new episode of Tea with Lady Leeanna today. It is coming in so late, and I'm waiting on anybody to join in the room if anybody is going to today. Hey Mitch, how's it going? It's good to see you. Merry meet and bright blessings. And we're kind of just waiting on anybody else to pop into the room. I just started up the stream just a second ago. How have you been doing? Well, they didn't actually do anything for me today. Basically, all they did was the MRI today, but I'm still having the things to do with the arm checked out and don't know where they're going with it. They really don't even know what is wrong with my arm right now, but it looks like it's probably pinched nerves or something like that. But I've really been sick at my stomach a lot the past couple of days. Don't know what it is with the stomach. Hey Patricia, how are you doing? It's good to see you. And Serafina, how are you doing? It is good to see all of you guys. And I thought I would get a show together for everybody because I cut it off yesterday so abruptly, canceling it and all of that. I had just simply forgot that I had scheduled an MRI for this morning and didn't want anything to conflict. Still having the problems, but they don't know yet what's going on, and so I've got to get a lot of that checked out. Hey Amanda, how are you doing? I'm feeling, I guess, a little bit better. Still a little sick at my stomach and don't know what's up with that. But, you know, as the world turns, we must go forward, right? It's good to hear that you're doing all right. Glad to know that all of you are doing good. Have y'all heard from Yamanu or Talon or any of the others? Omira? Let's see. And today it was kind of, the muse was the MRI that I had to go see, to have taken, you know. Today's medicine and science, technology, and what it is today and with who we are, you know, as witches of the old days, you know. And I thought that was a very, very good topic because when I was going through the depth of my radiation and chemotherapy treatments for my cancer, then I had a lot of witches coming on saying, well, why are you going through all of this? Why are you letting them poison you? What's up with all of this? And what's wrong with the old-fashioned, you know, herbal medicine way and all of that? And so I figured, well, this is a good thing to address right here. This is a good topic for today, and that we should go into it a little bit. I haven't talked to Mystic yet. I guess she'll pop up when she's ready. Hey Tracy, how are you doing? It's good to see you. But no, the last I heard from anybody was last night, and that was because I was sick. I had to go to bed early to get ready for today's MRI, you know, and didn't want to be overly tired, which I was still anyway. But I couldn't stay up too late and chance, you know, canceling out my appointments for medical practice today. Anyway, it's good to see you also. But yeah, I thought it was a good topic. And it's mused by everything that's going on with me in medicine today. All the machines that I'm having to go through, the MRIs, the CAT scans, all of this crap and that, and what I've been dealing with for the past year and a half, as well as what witches have been asking me throughout the year and a half as far as why are you going through unnatural medicine? Why are you letting them poison you like this, that, and the other? And there's some really simple answers to that. You know, I believe in witches' medicine from the oldest ways. I mean, today's medicine would not exist today if we did not have the medicines of yesterday. I mean, and the scientists of today are brought about from the witches' knowledge and wisdom from yesterday. And so when I use today's medicines, aren't I using an evolved aspect of yesterday's medicines? You know, these things are tried and tested, and they've been tried and tested through people for decades, and some of it even centuries. So, you know, when I'm using the MRI machines, when we're tapping into radiation or whatever, yes, it is poisoning the body to a degree. But there is a killer cancer here that someone has to win over. And you've got to use whatever method you possibly can. And when you're using today's treatments, you're still using that which was brought about through yesterday, through everything that we knew, everything that we were burned for in the oldest days. Just having that knowledge and wisdom in those day and ages got us burned at the stake. And people have died through the decades in our lifetimes. We've seen it, so that they could prove these methods that they're using now actually do work. Now, and this is the way I look at it, nip the shit in the bud. I mean, because you only get one chance to fix this before it kills you, right? Nip the shit in the bud through proven methods that were brought about through our knowledge in the old days, and then bring ourselves back from those damages that is doing to us through the medicines of the old days, through herbology and aromatherapy and you know, Reiki and massage and all of that, you know. But you've got to start somewhere. And the idea is to preserve your life first and not let it get to a point to where you have no possible chance before you make that choice. You know, make a choice to begin with that you can come back from, or that you'll be around to add to try to come back from whatever it might do. You know, and crystals, herbs, whatever. Hey Night Song, how are you doing? And welcome to our chat room. Today we're talking about today's medicine and with what we were in the old days and how it correlates, what it's about. You know, and my main point is that you've got to preserve your life first, and then you come back from it through whatever natural method you possibly can. Because all of this that they're doing today was tapped into through nature at one time. It might be things that really don't agree with the body to a large extent. It's very hard on you. But it came from us. It came from what we do. It came from what we believe in. And all of this is tapping into the energy of the earth or the material of the earth, because it all came from somewhere. You know. And you could try to go into just standard herbology to try to cure yourself of whatever illness. Okay, but why not, you know, try to do every single thing you can right off the get-go rather than to take any kind of chances? You know, and I don't like the radiation. I don't like the chemotherapy. I'm the one that has actually had to deal with it for a year and a half and try to get around afterwards. Tripping over myself, not being able to walk more than 5 feet, running to the bathroom and dehydrating from both or all ends, you know. I mean, and this was with me a long time. But at least I knew that I pulled out all stops, and that is also a knowledge of the wise. That is to fight in all methods possible. You know, before you let it overtake you. You don't let the enemy approach with the, all of their guns fully loaded, and you hope to scare them away with an empty gun. You just don't do that. You want to have all weapons loaded and ready to go. And so that's what my plan was. Try to nip everything in the bud through today's updated technology, because that's why it's there, and it's been proven and ran through by all my ancestors and all of those people that died to prove that this stuff actually works. And it all did derive from a time before that where the knowledge and wisdom came from us, and it was through our knowledges and wisdoms that got us actually burnt at the stake that brought this forward. I mean, does anybody agree with me, disagree with me? Anybody would like to say anything about all of that? All of today's meds come from yesterday's witchcraft, yesterday's medicines. And yes, there is such thing as abusing a power. Too much of anything can be a bad thing, and so in small dosages. And that's what the doctors have to regulate. That's where they've been trained. We are to be of the wise ones, but where does knowledge and wisdom come from? Where does our evolved brains come from? It is people that have studied in particular fields so that they can be where they are today to help people on whatever path that they happen to be on, trying to win over whatever illness that person is trying to win over. And so the doctors of today, they are who we are. Only we find that today doctors, they practice not only paganism and witchcraft, they also practice in Christianity and other religions alike. And I've had people throughout my walk and trying to win over the cancer, I've had people say, why not go with all natural stuff? Well, I am. As soon as I use this stuff that also came from witchcraft, the knowledge and wisdom that people have trained to use all of these years, and I'm going to use a method of all of it, and that is tapping into man's technology, which is yesterday's witchery, and then went over that with man's knowledgeable ideas on herbology as it was set forth from the past, and bring that in to help my body recuperate from the ravages that the chemotherapy and radiation are likewise doing. Because no matter what, this is crap. It's going to be crap, and there's no way around that. So, pull out all stops when in all methods possible, and then come back from the things that ravaged you to get over it. Because, when you were diagnosed with cancer, you found out that you weren't in for a circus ride anyway. Did you know that the RX symbol is an evolution of a short form of the Eye of Horus? And I believe that. I never knew that. And thank you for that knowledge. I never knew that, but I believe that because all of the little sigils or symbols that they use in signs are very powerful to catch your eye. And I did a video on sigils, and they really work for people, and it makes a lot of sense. It catches your eye as you're going down the highway, and it sets in your mind, and it tells you where things are, so you can map it out in your head. And so it's really a part of sigil magic. Somebody was real smart in creating that symbol, I guess. Although it's probably also acronym for something. Anyway, so anybody else that's in the room that's had to deal with a major illness where they had to use today's technology or be tested by today's technology, which would point the doctors in the right direction on where they should go from now in treatment. Because it's all around us. You can't escape it. And so as witches that are believing in the old world, but are set nowadays in the world that we are, uh, faced with, we have to learn to use and work with uh, the newer high tech stuff, whether we like it or not. And I'm not a technological savvy person. I am not a person that likes technology by any means. But do I have faith in it? Yes, I do. I mean, I have a lot of faith in the technology of today because it all stemmed from that of yesterday. If it didn't, where did it come from? Somebody didn't just drop a big atomic capsule on us and say, okay, here's modern doctors and the equipment that goes with them. Use it, work with it, and make it, you're happy. They didn't do that. It came about through evolution. And that evolution would only happen if that already existed within our capabilities. So, of the old world, it is, all that we are. No, I'm very healthy, hearty, I'm sure she meant never ill, but I just need to lose weight. Well, I mean, we all have certain things about ourselves that we aren't too happy with, but what is happy, what is healthy there? I mean, you could take a person that's pleasantly plump and you could take an extremely skinny person and you could stick them side by side in the middle of a desert and say, okay, make your way across and into the tropical lands that lie just 20 miles that way. I mean, let's say 100 miles, 200 miles that way, okay, on foot. And then who's going to make it? I mean, the one that's pleasantly plump might get there and a lot happier, So, I mean, what is healthy, what is not so healthy? And it depends on how you look at it. Really, you don't want to get to a point where your heart feels strangled or other parts or organs in your body. I'm a little pleasantly plump. I'm not happy with it. And, the thing is I gained a lot of my weight whenever I got with Austin and I got real happy. So really a lot of this comes at a time when you are feeling good. How's it going, Fit Black? And any of the others that I didn't actually say hi to, I think I've got everybody that has spoken pretty much. Angie, how are you doing? But no, I'm not happy with my weight. I weigh 168 now, but I weighed 130 whenever I got with Austin, and my weight shot up like a rocket. And I could never gain weight before that. But it was a matter of feeding a husband that's a bottomless pit and never gains any weight. At that point, it was feeding him, and I guess eating the amount of times that you cook food in the household might balance that, and so you end up gaining weight with them, or gaining weight with the amount that you feed them, keeping up with them, although you're not really supposed to. I don't know. But, and speaking of technology, how about kitchens today? Whew, the stuff. I mean, it's hard for me to learn how to use the microwave today. Unless it's one that I've been using for a couple of years already. I have autoimmune diseases and I have been diagnosed with RA, and now they think lupus. I use the medicines that are available now, and I also use my crystals for inflammation and autoimmune diseases. What is RA, by the way? I don't know. Let's see. RA. So tell me what RA is. A lot happier since I gained a few. Let's see. And yeah, I mean, I gained a little weight, and so I quit worrying about gaining weight. Now I wish I could lose the shit and can't. So, come see, come see. I got used to it. Oh, rheumatoid arthritis. Yes, I've got arthritis in certain parts of my body. Though I haven't been diagnosed with it, I know that it's there. I hurt in different points depending on what I do. But yeah, gaining with feeding a partner, that is where a lot of the weight gain comes from, with those that cook. Rheumatoid arthritis. But yeah, that could be a very painful thing. And lupus is nothing to gawk at. That's a pretty heavy thing to deal with. I have a sister-in-law that's battling that a lot. And we rely, and that's the point, we rely a lot on today's medicine to get through the things we do. And it's a natural medicine, a lot of it. Or let's not call it a natural medicine, because to a degree, it all comes from there. It starts with natural medicine. And if it weren't for natural medicine, then we wouldn't have had it. A lot of it for sure is processed and put into a way that we could actually take it or direct it into the right places for the right illness. But see, that's where the knowledge and wisdom comes from of today. And so, yeah, it's not a real big topic. Clean, cut, and dry. It is what it is. And a person has to choose what is best for them to whoop any problem that they've got. And then they have to come back from whatever choices they make. That's just natural. That is just the natural rule of decision making, actually, there. Let's see. But, if you can get off of pharmaceuticals, that's good. But there are a lot of people that will always be on them. The idea here, though, for me is that, the pharmaceuticals of today, they came from herbology. They came from the knowledge and wisdom of yesterday. And without that, we wouldn't have the knowledge of today. And that was the main point that I wanted to make to start off with. As far as staying on pharmaceuticals, it's never good. It's always good to eat fruits and vegetables, to drink a lot of water, to try to wash from the inside all of that stuff that's gooky, that could cluster up in there and not be good for you in the long run. But for the short haul, to try to whoop what you're going through, it's always important to start and hit it hard. Don't piddlefoot around, otherwise you're going to lose your life, and then you're going to be wondering why you listened to everybody else and didn't do what your strongest instinct told you to do to begin with, And until now, up till now, they're saying that my white blood cell count is good, that I should be clear and clean of the cancer cells or the cancer at this point, which is good, and that's where I wanted to be. Now I've got to come back from what the radiation and chemotherapy have done to me, and let me tell you, they have kicked my ass up and down the hallway and all around and back again. They, all of this medicine and the doctors, the radiation and chemo have really kicked my ass. And now it's up to, herbology and nature of the earth to help bring me back from that. And that is what my plan was to begin with, Also, to try to keep my body alkaline and non-acidic so that the cancer don't come back. That's got to be a plan. Doing exercises, trying to get my legs back to where they were, and they've deteriorated a lot. That's just some of the ravages of being basically bedridden for a long period of time. But the drug lithium comes from lipidolite. The drug company literally goes and mine lipidolite for the drug they sell. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of companies do harvest stuff in the same manner, but I'm sure there's some processes. I don't really know exactly what all of this takes, but getting some sunlight and some fresh air is definitely always a plus, Yamanu. Let's see. It's turning out to be more difficult than I thought, and my biggest problem so far is generally energy. Yeah. A lot of that could be, being trapped in small areas, staying busy at a desk day in and day out. It depends on your daily habits or what's forcing those in. With me, it's being in a 12 by 24 building, and since Hurricane Isaac a while back, I and my husband have lived in this building that is also my office, and we've made it into our home, where I do my tarot card readings, and now we also do the recording studio stuff here for the show and all of that. You know, it's being in a 12 by 24 building 24 hours a day, and he has the only vehicle, and I don't have one. And so I can't get out a lot. And so being stuck in a little building all the time and right on a highway, so I don't have any room. I want to walk out there. Seriously, you don't want to walk out in front of my building. So being stuck in a 12 by 24 building for a long period of time can be very hard on you, and it can cause your muscles to start deteriorating, especially after a year or so of already being laid up trying to recuperate from the ravages of cancer, chemotherapy, and radiation. And so your situation, your system, your life, everything that you're dealing with, sitting at a desk, for so long or whatever, it can all have a bearing on how you are physically and energetically. But getting back in the world and making good with your surroundings is definitely a priority. Water, fresh air, vitamins, eating fresh stuff a lot. And I love going to the Asian food mart, and a lot of you probably know that the Asians are very synonymous with eating a lot of your fresh vegetables and fruits and stuff of that nature. And I love cooking with that. I mean, I love doing my stir fries and all of that, which means just a little bit of oil and mainly a lot of waters or fluids, added to my food whenever I cook. And those are really good for you. I don't do enough of it. Since I got sick a year and a half ago, I quit putting as much into my cooking as I generally would. And so I need to get back more in tune with that, because that is me. That's what I love to do. Let's see, computer screens are very hard on one's head, eyes, mind, etc. They really are. And a lot of my work is via my computer. Actually, my TV is going through my computer. My work here that I do on site, as well as the readings I do online, they go through computer to some degree or all the way. The shows that I do, and I do at least a lot of them, and then I do the editing on computer, so I live in a computer. And so this 12 by 24 building isn't the only place I live. I am fortunate to live in the country. I do have space to walk, and it is good to have that. You definitely, and I love the country, but after living in the city for so long, I don't know if I would want to go back to just living out in the country. I kind of gotten to where I like to have one foot in the city and one foot in the country, and it has to do with location. I can go out where I want to be and embark on nature, for a while. Be at one with the earth and with nature, the God and Goddess. And I can go into the city and I can take care of matters that need to be dealt with. So I like a little bit of both myself. And so I guess I've been a little bit city oriented, since I've been living in Liberty for the past 30 years. But before that, I lived out in the country off and on. Let's see. I live in New York City, and it's hard. And I'm from a rural area. It is difficult. Yeah, living in the big city, I guess right directly in the big city, or where you value it to be kind of dirty compared to where you're used to being, it would be a major change. Let's see. The best of both worlds, the city and the country. And that's kind of what I like right there. Or maybe I am... No, that's kind of how I like it. It really is. Because I am very, very eclectic in all sense of the word. Let's see. I have diabetes, so trying to stay on a diet is hard. I drink herbal tea, and it is really hard to avoid the sugar. Yeah, I'd imagine it could be. With diabetes, does honey account for sugar? I mean, would it be considered the same thing? I would imagine it would be, but I could only guess at this point. And have you ever thought about trying stevia leaf? Stevia leaf is a natural green herb and it sweetens things about 10 times to the tune of sugar. The only thing is it does have a very green flavor behind it, in my opinion. And so if you're going to drink it into a tea, it really should be a tea with a powerful flavor, like a mint, chamomile, jasmine, and other stronger flavored teas. And there's an idea or suggestion for you. But stevia leaf is very, very good for that. I don't like the flavor myself, and not being in a position where I have to watch it so bad, I won't say that I'm going to run right out and buy me a bunch of it. But I think that, you know, stevia leaf could be something that you would want to try if you haven't before. Sugar and salt are rough to avoid. That's just, yeah, definitely. Salt is my problem for higher blood pressure. And I found out lately that I've got high blood pressure just over the past couple of months. And I'm pretty sure that's been my laying up and around, running back and forth to the doctor's offices. We've been eating a lot more fast food because we've had to be on the road or on the go, and without any choice. Getting up like at 5:30, 6:30 in the morning to go to doctor's appointments too far away and all of that, you know, then we've had to stop and get fast food a lot more than usual, and that isn't good. Since then, my blood pressure shot up, and I'm sure it's the medicine being laid up a lot and the fast foods. Not good, not good. Let's see, my blood pressure is in control. That is good. But yeah, I mean, it's just a suggestion for if you drop into an out of control area, or to help keep it in control or whatever. You know, just giving an idea of stevia leaf. And they're even selling it in sugar packages and all of that kind of stuff these days. What is it that you have, Myra? Diabetes? Is that what you're saying? But anyway, yeah, I do want out of Liberty though. I love kind of living where I'm at in the city and the country, but I don't like living where I'm at. The exact place just really sucks. Yeah, with high blood pressure, you've got to watch that salt and sugar and fast foods, sodas, all that kind of crap. You know, you've just really got to watch it. The pills are terrible. They drain the energy out of you. They had me in chemically induced coma, as my family referred to it. Yeah, that just sucked. But yeah, I want to move. I want to get out of this area. I actually want to live into a deep city, but the deep city I want to live in is very, very particular. And no, I don't even know about the deep city. Yeah, Japan. I want to live in the deep city in Japan for a while. Of course, I have these fantasies of living way out in the deep, a little town in Japan also. You know, with the older folks of respect and honor, you know, and living the oldest ways there. I've always wanted to go there. Let's see. But yeah, as far as medicine today, you can't get around it, and you have to learn to work with it. It can also upset your balance. You know, like I said, I feel that my high blood pressure is for the most part brought on by what medicine of today has done to me. But at the same time, that's where I've got to battle that with the herbology and crystals and gemstones. And by the way, I mean, as far as crystals and stones go, I won't say that I'm well knowledgeable in that, because that wasn't my particular field. As I studied in herbology more than that, and other fields even more than herbology. And a person can only study so many things, and that's why we all rely on each other. as I always, point out. But yes, I never really got too knowledgeable within crystals and stones, or or a massage, Reiki healing, things within healing. I never got involved in that side of things, and probably should have more. But a person can only undertake so many pathways, or so many things within their pathway. But it's always helpful, and that's why it takes more than one person to make a village. Imagine living somewhere like Sedona, where folks like us tend to congregate. I think we congregate in many different places, but I think a lot of us spiritually keep a lot into ourselves, or those that are very eclectic, just, I don't know, they don't tend to bend one way or another. They just kind of keep it somewhere in the middle. I like talking about what I do, what I believe in, sharing it with the world, and I never hesitate in doing that. Where a lot of people have to fear for what they let out, I can't never understand that, because I've never been in that predicament. Asheville. I don't know where Asheville is. Asheville. Anyway, I would like to be able to travel. That's one of my big goals, is to be able to try a few different places, but inevitably landing in Japan somewhere, preferably at first in a large city, so that I can get used to everything and the people, and then eventually move out to a small town there. Let's see. Pancreas doesn't produce enough insulin, and that's what diabetes is, I would guess, is what Patricia is saying. But yeah, I like traveling. I like the idea of taking all of my knowledge and wisdom, taking my computer, my technology that I use to reach out to the world, putting it all in a box, and go wherever I feel like going at the time. All right, Angie, it was good to see you, and come back and visit us on the next show. Maybe it'll be more well put together. This was just kind of spring about to let everybody know that I was doing all right, because I know that people were worried. So I just more or less kind of threw this out there so that everybody would know that everything's good. But I'll be talking to you on Facebook, Angie. But yeah, so really and truthfully, my whole idea and with this pathway that I'd taken over the course of this year was to go with medicine that has been proven and tested through science and through so many other people that have died and succeeded over, the past many decades, and then win over the ravages that would do to my body through modern or backdated herbology, which is still the best today, which still works for today. High fructose corn syrup is evil to your health in general. It actually has been proven to be a leading cause of obesity and diabetes. Obesity is the purveyor of obesity. A lot of it's TV, computers, sitting at a desk, sitting on a couch, not getting up and doing the things that we need to do. So let's be honest with ourselves. My obesity it comes partially due to laziness. Not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And it started 6-7 years ago. And also trying to fill my husband's gut and staying with him as far as what I would take in, All right, Tracy, you take care, girl. And thank you. But yeah, obesity is obesity. We do the things to our body, and there's no excuse for it, because We see it coming on. We see it as it's in its earlier stages, and we don't do nothing about it. Or we do some. I obviously haven't done everything about it that I can, so I have a lot of work to go, But, let's see. As far as illnesses go, I was always really, really healthy until about the time of till I found out I had the cancer. And then everything went to hell in a handbag from there, But, once the doctors get their hands on you, what they say, it could be a really bad thing for you. Anyway, really and truthfully, everybody, I just wanted to jump on here and say hi. Let everybody know that I was doing all right. Is there anything anybody wanted to ask or talk about in particular today? Yes, mindset is often key. It all starts right here, programming or reprogramming or deprogramming, and we found a little bit of all of it throughout all of our different pathways. We're all different people, but I'm sure that all of us found to some degree that we had to deprogram our minds from what had been done to us from the time we were real little. And most of us. There are some that were actually raised pagan, very open-minded, and possibly by hippies. and the people there would obviously be very, very lucky, But then there were those that were raised by mediocres, and that's like mine. I was raised by parents that let me go down whatever path I chose, and so I was lucky there. But there were those that were just not so lucky and were forced into this way or that way and were programmed and had to deprogram themselves to be who they are today. And so, that is the best thing, the best place that you could be. That is the best raising that you can get, and the easiest to come back from. Thank you for keeping up with us. I always try to let people know what's going on, especially since you guys are actually used to talking to me every day on some level, whether it's, on here or Facebook or whatnot, And I just kind of slammed you with the knowledge that I wasn't going to do the show last night, and that I had an MRI to go to today, and I didn't explain a lot because I was so tired and not feeling good. I felt that I needed to get on here and say, hey, okay, this is what's up. In actuality, I was feeling sick with flu-like symptoms, and those lasted about 24 hours. And then, from there it was just getting the MRI that was already pre-scheduled from a week ago to do with my arm that isn't healed yet, but we're working on it. Anyway, yes, I know you're having to go, Serafina, and I'm going to go ahead and close the show down. I wanted to touch base with you guys and say hi to you. I'm glad all of you guys are doing all right, and we'll do another show that's more scheduled and a little bit more laid out. This was kind of thrown together. All right, take care of yourself, everybody, and brightest blessings to you.